Hello everyone, welcome to our task sheet deconstruction tutorial video. In this video we'll run through the narrative monologue task sheet so you have an understanding of what this task requires of you. And please remember that this is your summative assessment task for this term. Okay, so this is the assessment task that you need to focus on primarily for the next few weeks. Okay, and we're going to be spending a lot of our lessons working on this. So last week I gave you a formative assessment task. Okay, that means that it doesn't count towards your grade, and that is the analytical article. Okay, so this assessment task, the narrative monologue, that needs to take precedence, meaning this is what you need to work on. Okay, and that other assessment task, the formative assessment task, the one that doesn't count towards your grade, okay, that one is one that we'll progressively finish when we have spare time. When we're back at school at the start of week 6. Having said that, if you have extra time this week, okay, you can work on that too. But this narrative monologue task is the one that we now need to be focused on primarily for the next couple of weeks. All right, so let's go over to the task sheet and have a look at it. Before we do, however, I just want to show you where you can download the task sheet for yourself. It is here on our eLearn page. Actually, I'll put it into student preview. It is here on our eLearn page in the assignments link. So if you click on that, there it is. There's the task sheet. There's also a study guide there on how to write a monologue. Okay, and that's going to be there to help you if there is an aspect of writing the task that you're not quite sure of. Okay, so make sure you've downloaded both of those documents. Thank you. All right, so here's the task sheet itself. Now, usual information up here. The date that it was handed out, well, for you guys, that was on Friday. So the 15th of May. Due date is actually it's down the bottom of the task sheet here. The due date is the 8th of June. And there is a draft due on the 25th of May. Okay. So guys, we've been reading the novel Wonder, and the text type you're going to be required to produce is the one that we've been learning about over the last 4 lessons, okay, and that is monologues. So we have studied the structure of monologues, what they are as a text type, and also the language features that are used in monologues as well. So what do you have to do? It's very straightforward. Okay, this is not a difficult task to understand. Okay, you will write or create a narrative monologue that takes on the perspective of one of the characters in the novel Wonder. So you are writing from the perspective of one of the characters in Wonder. Now, all this information here on the task sheet sort of tells you step by step what it is that you need to do. So you need to select one of the following characters, and these are the options that you have: Charlotte Cody, Julian Albans, and Jamina Chin. Okay, and you can see here that there are three different precepts that they have. Okay, and remember precepts from the novel? They're like rules to live by, or rules that are held to be true in life by different people. So for Charlotte, it's not good enough to be friendly, you have to be a friend. For Julian, sometimes it's good to start over, and Jamina, it is to thine own self be true. And these precepts in your monologue that you write should be like a motif. Do you remember a motif in that tutorial video we did where we wrote a monologue from Mr. Tushman's perspective? A motif is like a word, a quote, or a phrase that you use at the start and at the end of a monologue, and you keep referring to it throughout a monologue. So it's a phrase, an idea, a word that you keep coming back to. Okay, in the monologue, you keep referring back to it. So it's like an anchor point. Okay, so it's like an anchor or a rope, keeping a ship tied to the shore. Okay, keeps bringing your writing back to a central idea, back to an anchor point. Okay, back to shore. Okay, so that is what the purpose of these precepts. Okay, and you're going to use them at the start and at the end of your monologue, and they're like a central idea, an anchor point for your monologue to give it cohesion. Okay, and remember the one we did with Mr. Tushman, that motif, that anchor point was that word diplomacy. He kept coming back to that idea of diplomacy over and over again. All right, so you need to develop a plan. So you need to select an event from the novel that you're going to reflect upon. So think about the precept and then think about an event from the novel that relates to it from that character's perspective. Okay, and then you need to have the character reflect back on that experience from the novel. Okay, and it should be a character's experience at school because all these three characters here are like school friends of Augie. Okay, so the reflection should be an event that happens at school, and they should reflect back upon that event. Maybe it directly involved them, maybe it's just something that they saw. And it's probably going to be an event that relates to Augie. Okay, so something that happened to him, something that was done to him by another student, something that he achieved, that these three might have been involved in or might have um, observed. And then they're going to reflect upon it. Okay, and I said before it has to be one of these three characters. It actually doesn't. It needs to be a character from the novel, but you need to keep relating back to that precept. Okay, it can't be August though. It needs to be a character other than August. All right, let's keep having a look here at what else we have. So you need to create a narrative monologue, experiment with text structure, and refine and clarify your ideas. So it gives us here a structure and how we can break up this monologue. So introduction, introduce your character. Okay, don't say my name is. Make it clear who the character is without directly saying it. Reflect on your chosen event in the present moment. Okay, so you're writing about the event from the future. Okay, the character is looking back on something that happened. The precept needs to be in there. So remember we talked just before about how you use that precept as a motif, okay, that anchor point. Keep referring back to it in the monologue. In the body, you should discuss the past event, okay, sort of set the scene of what happened, and then reflect upon thoughts and feelings, and also reflect upon the relationship and impressions of August. Conclusion, come back to the present moment being the point in which they're doing the reflection. Discuss how your character feels about the past event now. Discuss relationship with Augie now. Discuss your character's thoughts and hopes for the future and what they learnt from it. And restate, make a link back to the chosen precept, okay, because that precept is the anchor point, the motif. And remember as well to use all of those different imaginative language features that you should be using when writing a monologue. Okay, so to break this down to something very simple, you choose a character, okay, and you choose one of these precepts. Okay, you then need to choose an event that happened in the novel. The character is to reflect back upon that event, discuss how they feel about it, discuss what they learnt because of that, and discuss how that experience informs how they will feel, what they will do in the future. Okay, so they're reflecting back, thinking back upon the event, how they feel about it, and what it means for them and their future. All right, there's the due dates. It's 400 to 600 words, and the one draft with written feedback will be provided to me on the 25th of May. On this task sheet, there is also the marking guide, so you can use that to have a look at what you need to do in order to get the grade that you want. Once we've done it, you will do a reflection after you've got your results back. All right, guys. So there's the monologue task sheet. Any questions, please let me know. Email me. And you now need to get started on that. Okay, start writing it.